The 1930s were devastating to economies globally. Countless people lost their homes and jobs. In response, the U.S. government began the Department of Housing and Development in 1937. The United States Housing Department lent about $800 million towards the construction of 587 low-cost housing developments, providing more than 170,000 dwelling units. The housing was built in urban areas and high-rises in order to maximize space and allow for proximity to job opportunities. This initiative seemed to be a saving grace for the American people for years to come. However, today it seems anything but.
They have like so many cases that they have. Maybe more case managers, not better case managers, but maybe just like one or two people in the office that can help them.
Finding access to public housing seems nearly impossible today. Over 1.3 million units are managed by a little over 3,400 public housing authorities, leaving many of these authorities feeling overwhelmed. Residents are often feeling left unheard and neglected.
They get like really overwhelmed, and sometimes things get lost in the cracks. And like this program specifically, I'm having this problem now. They want us to be working, to be making money, but then like when we have to go in and meet them like once a month. We have to go to the office. So for someone who is working every day and they have like normal business hours, it's not always conducive, but you have to go.
The current Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is Ben Carson. He's pushed Congress to lift the cap on the number of public housing units eligible to be transferred to the private sector under the RAD program. Carson believes that private organizations creating public housing will improve the U.S. economy. However, many Americans, especially those living under the Public Housing Initiative, believe that privatizing home development will raise costs for a majority of those living under it. On March 11, 2019, President Trump proposed to slash the budget for the Department of Housing and Urban Development in the 2020 fiscal year. This proposition included a whopping $9.6 billion, or 18%, below 2019's congressionally enacted fund levels for the department. Luckily, Congress disregarded this proposal and increased the department's budget. However, if enacted, these cuts would have detrimental impacts on the already underfunded program. 3 out of 4 American households that are eligible for HUD assistance do not receive it because of lack of funding. Since its creation, public housing units have been placed in extremely close proximity to both each other and less than savory communities. Many of those living in these areas feel rejected and thrown away by their own government.
They put us in these neighborhoods where, of course, they have these contracts with the like the property management company, so we kind of get like the crappy end of the stick when it comes to apartments. So
like different things, you can't do that. The place is like really run down, and like creatures that live there with you and stuff.
What do you think would make it better?
If they gave us like actual apartments that they would sell to people, instead of giving us the ones that they can't sell to people, because like it just like, for me, it just makes me feel like they care less about people like us in a way.
Households with children comprise 43% of public housing, and 56% of these households are single-parent households. 52% of all public housing is occupied by elderly or handicapped households. However, there's a stigma that people who need public housing are on drugs, not working, or even just lazy, instead of people who are trying to work to better their lives.
They stick in ghetto people
Yeah.
inside of ghetto apartments surrounded by, you know, ghetto cities, and it just like perpetuates the cycle of whatever they're going through. And if you don't have, you know, somebody like me who might have had a career before it, or just has the drive to want to kind of do better, you know, people look at those types of people and they kind of figure that those are all of the types of people that are in these programs. And it's really not. I actually, from what I've seen, I feel like they're the minimum. But that's what people pay attention to.
Yeah, it's like the minority voices as if they're the majority.
Right. Like if people that I feel like don't know me personally, I would never tell them I was in a housing program, because, you know, people that know me, they know I'm intelligent woman, I care for my kids, you know, I'm not like a negligent parent or anything, so they'll be like, oh, what happened? Versus me just going, oh, yeah, I'm in a housing program.
What did you do?
That's usually the reaction that you get. So it's just because of, you know, there's usually one or two rotten apples that come in and just really put a bad name on it for everybody.
However, even through all of public housing's problems, it still provides a better chance at life for all Americans. Do you think that the public housing system works well or poorly? And why do you feel that way?
I think it works. Like I said, there are resources that they have. I think it could work a lot better. But see, the reason that I think so is probably why anything could work better. It's the people that work there. You know, they pay for my certifications. You know, if I call them for anything, they would do, you know, whatever.